Hello everybody and welcome back to the Let's Build of Amateria. This is part 2 of 2. I can tell you now that while this part is the last one, you really want to watch through till the end, because I'll tell you now, it's an absolutely brilliant ending to this Let's Build, and I'm also going to upload a completely separate video just for what happens at the end of this video. So just get a sneak peek, watch through, have a look at how Amateria turns out, and then have a look at the final product at the end. But here you can see us building on the inside of the central room of the island, and it's not really an island, it's sort of in the middle of nowhere really. I'm not really sure what to call it. I'm not really sure if it's actually like an artificial island or a natural island, so for now I'll just call it the central building. And here we are now outside, getting ready to start the Libra's lever. Libra's lever is the English way of saying it. Spider spinner in the background there, you can see us now starting to build out the general pattern for the minecart to roll down. It's a little bit more confusing, this one, because there's a lot of twists and turns inside the cave, so we need to actually work it out. We keep stopping once in a while just to kind of watch our own videos of us going through the ride, just so we can remember where exactly the ball goes, or the minecart in this case, leading up to the balance bridge itself. The other difficult thing about this was fitting in the powered rails, as you can see there. I'm just trying to tweak the kind of curl round so that the powered rails can basically push the minecart enough, because basically what happened is railcraft basically means railcraft makes carts go slower and they're more heavy. So what railcraft does is, rather than make the powered rails worse, it makes the minecart a lot harder to push. So you need a lot more powered rails to get the minecart round. And since there's a lot of turns and you can't put powered rails on a corner, it made it a little bit more difficult. But at this stage we're sort of there, and we basically put powered rails wherever we could. So now you can see Max, he's actually using the Creative Builder's Wand from Extra Utilities to build a nice kind of cube, and then he's going to cut into it kind of randomly later on. But for now we're just trying to get the start of the caves ready. We couldn't really find a very good stone for this, so we originally chose this, I think it was Abyssal Stone to start with, and it didn't look very nice, and we did change it in the end, but we're trying to get the general, colour, not general colour, but the general shape of the beginning of the cave where the minecart goes down. And once we have that done, we can then start building the rest of the beginning stuff and the cave leading into the Libra's lever puzzle. So we've got Joe on at this point, and he's helping us build the sort of central platform, the start platform, where you first link into the age. And there's also a second little platform, which is the one where the linking book back to Jananin, or Myst in this case, is. So you can see now we're starting to build a sort of stone outcropping into the cave, and this is exactly when we started to build it out of warded stone instead. We started to use warded stone from Thumbcraft because we thought it looked a little bit more sort of natural, a little bit more rock-like, like it does in the game. And yeah, that's pretty much what we decided to do. So started to sort of half destroy and half just replace the cave with warded stone. We left some of the abyssal stone in there because it gave a little bit of variation, made it look a little bit more natural. And we actually used different colours of warded stone in the end, which you're about to see, just to make it that little bit better. You can also see there's a few wisps flying around. That's because for some reason there's a big problem with wisps in the Amateria age. We don't know whether it's like the crystals on top of the on the little tower things next to the spider spinner, but never mind. Makes it a little bit more magical, I guess. I don't know. I don't really mind the wisp being there. While I've been in survival mode since, they haven't really been a problem, so it's fine. They kind of fly quite far out, and there's also squids kind of flying around, as you can see. But Max is now starting to build a high sign, as well as the rest of the sort of mossy area just outside the Wheels of Wonder, which is the third and final sort of puzzle that you need to complete in the game. The Wheels of Wonder in the real game are basically the ball comes in and starts getting like bounced around, sort of like catapulted towards in between two sort of hexagonal discs, and of course that's quite difficult to do in Minecraft. So we tried to use launcher rails as much as we could, but we had to kind of modify the Wheels of Wonder quite a lot, more than the other things anyway. But we still sort of followed the same path that the ball does, so that's sort of a good thing. So yeah, you can see that it's starting to look pretty good. We use the covers from Forge Multipart for the moss, sort of dark green wool, and I'm starting to build the first sort of path out of the central building towards the Wheels of Wonder. So the Wheels of Wonder in the real game, you have to get there by walking through. So you start at the Libras lever, then you walk through this sort of tunnel area to the spider spinner. You walk on there to kind of modify the force fields on the spider spinner, and then you can see this little mossy outcropping, sort of rocky, sort of. In the game, it's more of a Giant's Causeway sort of deal, but because it's squares in Minecraft, we just sort of used blocks and made a mossy pathway to the Wheels of Wonder. So you walk across there, and then you control and edit the Wheels of Wonder stuff there. So as well as using launch rails, we also used detector rails and elevator rails to try and help make the design a little bit easier. You can also see that to try and help the minecart get over for the last jump, we've actually added a piece of rail kind of hanging in the air. It's quite difficult to see really, but it's just there just to make sure that it doesn't just fall in the water, because that would be pretty bad. The reason that we're also testing it just not while sitting in it is because for some reason, I'm not really sure why, but when you're sitting in a cart, it's has a lot more. Well, I guess it has a lot more momentum, and therefore it's a lot easier to go through boosted rails and stuff, and it goes a lot quicker in general. If you have nothing in the car, then it moves a lot slower for some weird reason. So you can see here that it's getting stuck. So I decided to make it a booster rail and see if that works. So that time it did work. So I'm happy with that. So then once I was happy with the Wheels of Wonder, which I'll just talk through now in a minute, I started building the rest of the rails that go back into the central building. So what happens is, you can see to the left there's a launch rail, that bounces it over to the second wheel, then it goes around in a circular pattern around to the front here, where it goes back over the top again, then it goes back round the sort of tower in the middle of the first wheel, then gets elevator railed through the middle, and then finally goes around. You can see there's another launch rail just behind there, and it gets bounced back over again. So now you can see that there's been a little bit of progress on the cave towards the Libras lever, and we're starting to sort of build the central area for the cave where you first walk into the cave, and we've definitely made sure that you can actually walk through the cave like you would in the game. We haven't just randomly placed, stone everywhere and just made it a big kind of block of rock almost. We've definitely made sure that you can actually, walk through it like you could in the game. And we started also building the end sort of area, the end platform, for when you're looking at the rune, the symbol. Unfortunately, we lost the footage for that, so I'll show you what it looks like at the end. I think my fraps may have crashed or something happened. Sometimes fraps crashes. The thing is that the last time that happened was a long time ago. It was in my single player series. It was one of the first episodes on that. Episode 2 actually. And I had to actually, add some extra stuff on there. But fraps does occasionally just crash for no reason at all. But anyway, here we go. You can see here that I'm actually starting to build the walls of the central building as well. And with that, we're pretty much done with Amateria. Look at that. There's a few extra things that, of course, I lost off camera. But there you go. You can see the spider spinner and the Libras lever and the Wheels of Wonder all pretty much complete. And then finally, the last area where the cart finishes off. So you can see here, this is the final area, the final bit where the symbol is. I used ice microblocks to do that, and I also added a linking book at the end there, just like in the real game. But now is the moment you've all been waiting for, the ride itself. This took a while to edit, but I'll tell you now, it is goddamn cool. Hope you enjoy. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this Let's Build Amateria just as much as we have. We had a load of fun building it. It was an absolutely monstrous project that we never thought would get as far as it has. And you know, it's going to be awesome when we get the carts going around, transporting liquids, transporting all the fuel, all the items from the quarry, stuff like that. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed this Let's Build. We'll try and do another one like this again, but it's been absolutely awesome doing this. So I'll see you next time, and to finish off, I've got a little kind of blend to end off the episode. Thank you all for watching.